Hey, Guy.
Hey, Mary Lou. We were the 70s kids, weren't we?
We sure
You and I
were.
started in 1970.
What do you think when you look
Holy
back at this
smokes.
show from 1976?
Well, what do I think about? I think about 1976 when we took a very memorable trip together.
We
That's
did.
what I
To
think
Europe.
about. We went to Europe, went all over Europe. We had a great time. I love this show. I love Johnny Mercer's lyrics. I always thought he was one of the most clever lyricists that ever wrote, writing things from Moon River to I'm an Old Cowhand to things like Jeepers Creepers and then Charade. He was a great lyricist, and I've always admired his work, so I enjoyed this show.
Well, the last time we got together, we talked all about your career in show business. But now you're in politics. How did you get from the Lawrence Welk Show to the world of politics?
Yikes. Well, let's see. How did I do that? It wasn't easy. I moved back to Mississippi about a year after my old friend Trent Lott had gotten elected to the United States Senate. He'd been in House of Representatives for 16 years, 8 terms before that. And I'd always participated in his campaigns, from the time he was elected in 1972. So I was back in Mississippi, and he'd been trying to run his state offices out of Washington. And he needed somebody on the ground in Mississippi to do it. It just wasn't working. So he just out of the blue called me one day and said, hey, I need somebody down there to supervise my state offices. So would you be interested? And I said, good heavens, Trent, I don't know anything about politics. I said, I've been in show business for 20 years. He just looked at me and smiled and said, you'll do fine. I didn't know really what he meant by that. I think he insinuated there was a lot of similarities between politics and show business.
You think?
I'm here to tell you, there's not a whole lot of similarity. I found out politics is a lot more work for a lot less money.
So what exactly does running a state office entail?
Well, that's a real good question, as they say. Most people think congressional offices are campaign offices. They think people that's where they do their political campaign. Well, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's illegal to do campaign operations out of an office that's paid for by you, the taxpayer. So anyhow, each member of Congress, they have their office in Washington, and then they have offices in their districts in the state. With the senators, they have to cover the whole state. So we've got 4 offices in Mississippi. We did have 5, we closed 1. But in the state offices, we do what is called constituent service work. Whereas in the Washington office, they deal mainly with legislation. Now, constituent service work is mainly helping people try to get through this unbelievable bureaucracy that we've built over the years, and through the red tape of working with federal agencies like the Social Security Administration, Veterans Administration, or Internal Revenue, things like that. That's basically what we do. Is our staff tries to help people that just can't get anywhere. They've run into a brick wall. We're supposed to only deal with the federal agencies. Of course, Trent's motto has always been, if anybody calls this office for anything, you try to help them. So we do. And on top of that, I supervise the state offices and try to keep us all on the same page with the Washington office. And I spend a lot of my time going around the state representing Trent at events that he can't attend, and sitting in on meetings and letting him know what's happening.
Couldn't have a better representative.
I don't know about that, but it's been a real good experience for me. I really enjoyed it.
You have a wonderful family.
I
What's
do.
happening with them?
I have, I don't know how God blessed me so this late in life to have met my wife, Sis. That sounds funny, doesn't it?
It sounds
Here's
beautiful,
my
though.
wife, Sis. Her name is actually Sarah, but no, people have called her Sis all her life. But she's a registered nurse, and my friends kid me. They say, well, in your old age, you had to go find your own personal nurse. But she is a wonderful person, and she is quite a talented gal. She's been in administration in surgical services for, 30, 35 years. and which is a very stressful job, as you can imagine, running operating rooms and everything that goes with them. But a couple of years ago, she felt like she just needed a change. She'd done it too long, and she was kind of stressed out. So she's moved over to working at the Cancer Center, the Hedderman Cancer Center. She's Director of Program Development at the Hedderman Cancer Center at Baptist Hospital in Jackson, and she works with cancer patients and their families and helps them when they're diagnosed. She gives a class, tells them what to expect. She just kind of guides them through the treatment process. And you can imagine she's wonderful at it. And now people come up to me all the time and say, your wife's an angel. I say, yeah, I know it. And we have beautiful grandchildren. Sister's got daughter Dawn has 3 beautiful children. Blair, who's 14, and Mary Margaret, who's 6, and Tori, who's 3. We don't get to see enough of them, but and then we have Sister's son Hunter, who works in Washington, and my daughter Julie in Phoenix, who've yet to get married. So we're going to be looking at grandkids.
You're going to be busy for a while.
We're going to be going to see grandkids in wheelchairs if they don't get going here.
Well, you've got a brand new CD out.
I did. People have been asking me for years to record a patriotic CD. A lot of the songs that I sang, like God Bless the USA, and the song I sang at the presidential inauguration in '05, Let the Eagles Soar. I finally got that thing recorded last year.
Oh, fabulous.
And it's done really well, and I'm proud of it. It came out really better than I expected, let's put it that way. Still most of the notes come out of this croaky old voice, and I thank God for that.
Never a croaky old voice. Do you have a favorite Welk story?
A favorite Welk story? Well, heavens above, I'm sure there's so many of them. We've talked about we need to just sit around sometime and tell Lawrence Welk stories. My favorite Lawrence Welk, this is personal for me and for Roland. Back when we were working those 4 days a week, and we'd go catch an airplane on Thursday night after recording and go somewhere and do a public appearance Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then fly back and to the studio to do the TV show. We'd done that for 2 or 3 years, and we were tired. And we were on one of those one-nighter things we'd go on, those 3 weeks of one-nighters, and Lawrence looked at us one day, and I guess he could see we were really worn out, and he came up and got whoever was sitting in the seat on the airplane next to Roland and let him sit there, and he talked to us, and he said, "Kids, you look a little tired." And we said, "Yes, Mr. Welk." Said, we're running all over the country working on weekends, well, anyhow, to make a long story short, he said, "Well, here's my suggestion to you. Work less and ask for more money." And we did, and it worked. So I've always thought that the man was wise.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence.
And thank you, Guy. This has been such a great time with you.
Thank you, Mary Lou. It's always good to be with you.